Chapter 1, Section 3 and 4. There was a new teacher in Seb's computer class today, younger than most. Still had hair in a ponytail, probably her first year out. Barely older than her students. "I am Miss Adana," she said. Her voice was soft and clear with a hint of an accent. The day was cool, so the fans were not clacking. One less thing for Seb to cope with. The fluorescent light flickered, though, as usual. So he pulled his hat lower over his eyes, expecting to be told to remove it. Miss Adana did not notice, or if she did not care. She read the roll, closed the book, then smiled and repeated everyone's name. Seb was not impressed. He could do that. Knew the periodic table by heart. Lists were easy. It was people who were hard. Christy, the girl who danced with him last night, the girl who taught him about grimaces, called out, "Good memory, miss." It was just a comment but Kezia glanced across the room at Christy, looked at her with the slit eyes beneath long lashes. Hungry eyes. Kezia did not like competition in class. Seb knew Christy would have a bad time today. He knew it because he had learned the long lash look, taught himself the meaning, had lots of experience. Miss Adana may have been young, but she knew computers. Mr. Roberts, their usual teacher, was sick, she said, and would be away for some weeks. Seb sat up, pleased. Mr. Roberts was old, close to retirement. Seb knew much more about computers than Mr. Roberts. More than most teachers, actually. Mr. Roberts did not like to be corrected in front of the class, and Seb spent many lessons at the office for impertinence. Maybe Miss Adana knew things that Seb did not know. That would be rare. That would be good. Section 4. Lunchtimes were the worst. No structure, bored teachers, begrudging, supervising duties. Seb had his own routine. When Guzzle was at footy training or cricket practice or basketball training like most days, Seb sat alone under the buildings to eat. Near the crowd, he could listen to other people's lives. At a glance, it seemed as if he had friends. He didn't sit too close. Never too close. Learned that one early. Had bruises for a week to help. Kids, don't like to have their invisible circle infiltrated. By nerds, by gay-baws, by geeks. Seb was none of those, but did not have the words to explain his worth to others. Lunch was always a ham roll and chocolate milk. That will be $4.55, he echoed the canteen lady under his breath. Then Seb headed for the library, to the safety of silence and the solidity of facts. He heard Kezia's voice before he saw her. The low purr triggered the flight reflex in his brain. His head jerked. Fear made Seb a poorly controlled puppet. Glossy hair flicked in a parting in the crowd. Seb sighed in relief. He was not her target this time. Then he saw. This time it was Christy. Christy, who danced with him even when she didn't have to. Christy with face full of fear and marble-still eyes. "Leave her alone," he heard his voice say. How had he moved so fast? Kezia turned with feline grace. Her tongue flicked over slick wet lips. "Well, if it's not Sebastian Taylor," she hissed. Liquid menace poured over him. "Leave her alone," Seb's voice repeated as he stared at his feet. "Didn't know you had a girlfriend," Kezia's words slid from her throat. "Thought you didn't like girls." Full stop. She ran a finger down Seb's cheek. Flesh twitched. He slapped at her hand. "Touchy," she laughed. A teacher walked past uninterested, but Kezia backed away. Later, she said, Seb did not look up, did not know to whom she spoke, did not see the look on Christy's face as she looked at Seb. Would not have known what it meant anyway. Even Christy did not know. Seb went to the library and stared at a computer screen.